Welcome to Crossed Hearts, a captivating animated story of love, betrayal, and forgiveness set in the vibrant landscapes of contemporary Africa. Our tale follows two couples whose lives are intricately woven together through friendship and shared pasts. Join us on this emotional journey that explores the depths of the human heart and the complexities of relationships. Meet James and Adanna. Married for 5 years, James, a successful entrepreneur, and Adanna, a pediatrician, are seen as a power couple. James grew up in a wealthy family, always pressured to excel. Adanna, from a more modest background, rose through sheer determination and her love for children. They met at a conference and quickly bonded over their shared values and dreams. Meet Kwame and Nia. Engaged and planning their wedding, Kwame is an architect, known for his creative designs inspired by African heritage. Nia, a lawyer specializing in human rights, fights tirelessly for justice. Childhood friends who reconnected in adulthood. Their relationship is based on deep respect and a long-standing friendship. As the sun sets over the bustling city of Nairobi, we see the silhouette of two couples laughing and sharing a meal at a cozy rooftop restaurant. Little do they know, the evening will bring revelations that will test their bonds like never before. As the night deepens, secrets begin to unravel, threatening the very foundation of trust and friendship between them. The revelation of an old love affair and a betrayal that goes back years surfaces, leaving everyone to question what they truly know about each other. As they confront their past and face their uncertainties, will their relationships survive the storm, or will they find themselves drifting apart in the chaos of unveiled truths? As dawn breaks, each couple faces the pain of the previous night's revelations. Amidst the cool morning breeze, James and Adanna take a walk in the lush gardens of Uhuru Park, a place where they once found peace together. Meanwhile, Kwame and Nia find solace in their kitchen, where they always felt most at ease discussing their dreams over a cup of tea. Today, however, the mood is somber as they attempt to piece together the trust that seems to be slipping away. In the midst of uncertainty, an unexpected ally comes forward. The old friend who brought tension to their dinner last night visits James at his office, revealing motivations that could change everything. Adanna, seeking clarity, visits her grandmother in the countryside. The wise old woman shares stories of her own youthful escapades and mistakes, reminding Adanna that forgiveness is often found where love remains strong. As the day ends, each couple must decide what they hold dear. Will they let the past define them, or will they forge a path towards reconciliation and understanding? The evening air is thick with anticipation as they gather at the rooftop restaurant. Words hang heavy between them, each heart beating a tumult of emotions. But it's Kwame who breaks the silence, his voice barely above a whisper, yet carrying the weight of his resolve. Kwame confesses that the old friend had once been more than just an acquaintance to Nia. An old flame rekindled briefly before her engagement. The revelation sends shockwaves through the group, testing the bonds of friendship and love. James, feeling the sting of betrayal anew, excuses himself and walks to the edge of the rooftop, looking out over Nairobi's nighttime skyline, contemplating the fragility of trust. Back at the table, Nia takes a deep breath and begins her story. With each word, she unveils her vulnerabilities, explaining her fears and the loneliness she felt when Kwame was abroad. It's a moment of raw honesty that tugs at the heartstrings. Adanna walks over to James, her steps hesitant. She finds the words to express her own fears about their marriage, sparked by the secrets now laid bare. Together they stand, two silhouettes against the city lights, sharing their insecurities and hopes. Under the soft glow of the streetlights, as the city sleeps, James and Adanna share a moment of reconciliation. The night's revelations have left them raw, yet there's a newfound determination to rebuild, to forge a stronger bond from the ashes of doubt. Meanwhile, Kwame and Nia, seated once more at their kitchen table, turn a new page. Kwame, understanding the depth of Nia's past pain, extends a hand of forgiveness. They promise to face future trials with openness and trust, sealing their vow with a tender embrace. As the new day begins, a phone call disrupts the peace. It's the old friend again, his voice urgent. He reveals that he's in trouble and needs their help. The past may not be ready to let them go just yet. Determined to aid their friend despite the past, the group convenes at a local cafe to strategize. Their friendship, once on the brink of collapse, now finds a new purpose as they rally to support someone who inadvertently brought them to the brink. During their meeting, unexpected truths come to light about the old friend's past actions and his current predicaments. What seemed like betrayal was part of a larger, more dangerous game involving powerful adversaries. With renewed purpose, our group decides to delve deeper into the mystery surrounding their old friend's predicament. Their journey leads them to a secluded warehouse on the outskirts of the city, where secrets and dangers lurk. Inside the warehouse, they discover documents and artifacts that hint at a larger conspiracy involving land disputes and corrupt officials. The pieces of the puzzle begin to fall into place, revealing the stakes are much higher than they imagined. As they piece together the evidence, the group's trust in each other strengthens. They share stories of their struggles and victories, weaving their individual journeys into a tapestry of collective resilience. Their investigation attracts unwanted attention. Late one evening, Nia receives a threatening call, warning them to stop their inquiries or face dire consequences. The reality of their situation becomes alarmingly clear. Undeterred by the threats, the group decides to meet the challenge head-on. They agree to bring their findings to the authorities, risking it all to expose the truth and protect their community. The next morning, with the dawn barely breaking, our group gathers at James's house, their faces set with determination. They know the risks, but are resolved to see their quest through, for justice and for their community. As they finalize their plans, an unexpected knock at the door startles them. Standing outside are several community members who have heard whispers of their efforts and come to offer their support, reinforcing the group's resolve and broadening their resources. With the community behind them, our friends delve deeper into the network of corruption. They organize a secret meeting in an abandoned factory to discuss the distribution of the evidence they have gathered. Their meeting, however, does not go unnoticed. As they share their findings, the ominous sound of approaching vehicles signals that danger is imminent. The group quickly switches to emergency mode, their plan suddenly shifting from exposition to evasion. With seconds to spare, the group manages to escape through a back exit, just as their pursuers burst into the factory. They split up into pre-arranged teams, blending into the city's early morning hustle to avoid capture. After a tense escape, our friends find temporary refuge in a discreet old bookstore owned by a sympathetic ally in the heart of the city. Here, amidst rows of dusty tomes, they regroup and reassess their strategy, understanding the gravity of their opponent's reach. While in hiding, Kwame receives an anonymous message containing crucial evidence that could dismantle the corrupt network. The risk is immense, but so is the potential reward. This new lead reignites their determination. As the night deepens, Nia steps outside into the cool air to clear her head. The city sounds are muffled, and the quiet provides a moment for reflection. Doubts creep in about their safety, their mission's success, and the personal cost of their actions. Determined to press forward, the group plans a large covert meeting to rally more support and share the evidence. It's a bold move, potentially exposing them further, but necessary to amplify their impact. Just as the meeting gains momentum, an unexpected ally turns traitor, tipping off the authorities. Panic ensues as sirens wail in the distance, approaching fast. The group must now escape and evade once more, their plans disrupted, but not destroyed. As sirens echo through the cavernous garage, our group executes a practiced escape. Each member knows their role, splitting into smaller units to evade capture. James and Adanna dash into a service tunnel, their footsteps quick and quiet against the concrete. Once safe, they rendezvous at an abandoned railway station on the city's outskirts. Here, the group takes a moment to catch their breath and count their numbers. Despite the setback, their spirits are not broken. The fight must go on. With their previous strategy compromised, the group devises a new plan. They decide to leverage the power of the media by anonymously leaking evidence to trusted journalists, spreading the word far and wide. In a quiet corner of the station, Naya and Kwame share a private moment. The strain of their mission has begun to wear on their relationship, and they confront the possibility of what might happen if they fail. Yet, their commitment to each other remains unwavering. As the group starts to see the impact of their efforts in the news, the traitor among them becomes desperate. He confronts James, attempting to justify his actions and offering a deal in exchange for safety. In the dimly lit railway station, the air is thick with tension as James faces the traitor. After hearing his desperate plea, James turns to his friends for counsel. Together, they make a pivotal decision that could alter their course forever. Choosing to reject the traitor's deal, the group strengthens their resolve. They expand their network, connecting with more allies across the city. Their collective effort begins to form a formidable force against the corrupt network. Late one evening, Adanna takes a solitary walk along the river, reflecting on the journey they have undertaken. The city lights reflect softly on the water, mirroring her thoughts on the sacrifices made and the hopes for a peaceful future. The group's efforts start to bear fruit as major news outlets begin to report on the corruption scandal. The public outcry grows, putting pressure on the authorities to act. However, this exposure also puts our friends at greater risk. As the scandal erupts, the corrupt officials decide to strike back. One evening, as the group gathers in their safe house, they receive a warning. They are about to be raided. With little time to spare, they prepare to stand their ground, ready to face whatever comes their way. As the night deepens, the safe house becomes a fortress of quiet determination. Outside, the city holds its breath, unaware of the showdown brewing in a nondescript neighborhood. Inside, our heroes finalize their plans, each aware that the coming hours could change their lives forever. Suddenly, the silence shatters as doors are forcefully kicked open. Armed officers storm in, flashlights sweeping through the darkness. But our group is not caught off guard. They've prepared for this moment. In the midst of the raid, Kwame spots an opportunity, a barely noticed back exit. Making a split-second decision, he signals to the others. They make a daring dash for the exit, narrowly dodging the grasp of their pursuers. After a breathless chase through dark alleys and over fences, they find momentary refuge in an abandoned warehouse. As they catch their breath, the reality of their situation sinks in. They are now fugitives, but they have survived the first onslaught. With the city's eyes now open to the corruption scandal, support for their cause grows among the public. Social media buzzes with their story, turning them into reluctant heroes. As they monitor the unfolding public support, they realize their fight has sparked a larger movement. As the early morning light washes over the city, it reveals a community galvanized by the courage of our heroes. Across neighborhoods, people begin to gather in public squares, holding signs of support for the fugitives and demanding justice. Seizing the momentum, a daring local journalist decides to broadcast an interview with James and Adanna, recorded before the raid. As their heartfelt pleas and undeniable evidence air, the public outcry reaches the corridors of power. Amidst the growing support, an unexpected figure steps forward, a high-ranking official disillusioned by the corruption within his ranks. He meets with our group in secret, offering crucial inside information and a plan to safely bring the culprits to justice. Empowered by the new allies' information, the group organizes a massive rally. As citizens from all walks of life pour into the streets, the city witnesses one of the largest peaceful demonstrations in its history, turning public opinion firmly against the corrupt network. With the public, and now parts of the government on their side, the group feels a shift in the tide. As they prepare for the next phase of their plan, they know they are no longer alone in their fight. The whole city seems to pulse with a collective desire for change. As the sun sets, casting a golden glow over the energized city, our heroes, now leaders of a burgeoning movement, convene to strategize their next moves. With the information provided by their new governmental ally, they are closer than ever to dismantling the corrupt network. In the days that follow, the group's efforts begin to bear fruit. Several key figures in the corrupt network are arrested, thanks to anonymous tips and relentless pressure from the media. The city celebrates each victory, their hope restored by the tangible results of their collective action. Despite their successes, the group faces new challenges. The corrupt network digs in, using their remaining influence to disrupt the movement. Threats and misinformation begin to circulate, aiming to sow discord among the supporters. To counteract the rising tensions, Adanna proposes a citywide day of unity, bringing together communities from all districts to reaffirm their commitment to the cause and dispel the seeds of division. As the Day of Unity unfolds, the powerful display of solidarity sends a clear message to the remaining corrupt elements. The movement grows stronger, drawing support from national and international observers. Our heroes watch from the stage, moved by the overwhelming support and the realization that their cause has sparked a global interest. Inspired by their success and the international attention it has garnered, our heroes decide to extend their campaign beyond the city's borders. They launch an initiative called Voices for Justice, aiming to connect with similar movements around the world. The inaugural session of Voices for Justice is a resounding success. Activists and leaders from across continents share insights and pledge support. Our heroes realize they are part of a larger global network, fighting against corruption and injustice. As the movement grows, so do the challenges. The network they fight against is more extensive and entrenched than they initially thought. Mysterious cyber attacks begin to threaten their communications, hinting at the powerful enemies they have made. Determined not to be silenced, Kwame reaches out to cybersecurity experts to fortify their systems. A team of skilled programmers is brought in, turning their office into a hub of digital defense efforts. With their new defense mechanisms in place, the group hosts a large-scale online rally, inviting millions to join in solidarity. The event is a showcase of unity and resilience, broadcasting messages of hope and defiance against corruption. Emboldened by the global rally's success, Voices for Justice becomes a beacon for those fighting against oppression worldwide. New chapters begin to form in different countries, each adapting the movement's principles to local challenges. Despite the burgeoning network, the threats intensify. A series of coordinated attacks against several chapters threatens to undermine their progress. Our heroes convene an emergency session to address these new challenges and reinforce their commitment. In a powerful display of solidarity, the global chapters respond by organizing a day of peaceful demonstrations, showing that intimidation will not silence them. The media covers these events, casting a spotlight on their unified stand against corruption. Amidst the global outreach, an influential whistleblower comes forward, offering explosive evidence that could bring down high-level perpetrators. This new ally, motivated by the group's courage, seeks them out, providing documents and insider testimonies. Armed with new evidence, the group prepares for a major legal and media offensive, aiming to expose and dismantle the corrupt networks once and for all. This preparation involves tightening their security, broadening their alliances, and planning targeted exposures. As the first light of dawn creeps over the horizon, our hero's command center is a hive of focused activity. The upcoming legal and media offensive is meticulously planned, and everyone knows their role. The stakes are higher than ever, and the air is thick with anticipation. The offensive begins with a series of coordinated media releases and legal filings across several countries. The evidence provided by the whistleblower proves to be damning, leading to immediate arrests and public outrage against the corrupt officials. To capitalize on the momentum, the group organizes a global online forum, inviting the public to engage directly with the movement. The forum is a resounding success, with thousands participating, sharing stories, and offering support. However, the network they are battling is deeply entrenched. As the movement gains public support, shadowy figures maneuver to undermine their efforts. A sudden cyber attack threatens to disrupt their communication systems, testing their resilience. Recognizing the need for stronger alliances, the group reaches out to international cybersecurity and legal experts. Together, they work to fortify their defenses and prepare for further battles. This partnership not only enhances their capabilities, but also solidifies their global influence. In the wake of the cyber attack, the command center has transformed into a fortified digital fortress. With the help of international cybersecurity experts, our heroes implement state-of-the-art defenses, ensuring that their operations can withstand any future threats. Not long after strengthening their defenses, the group traces the source of the cyber attack to a powerful corporate mogul with deep ties to the corrupt network. Armed with this information, they launch a counter-offensive to expose and dismantle his operations. To garner public support and apply pressure, the group organizes a worldwide campaign, revealing the mogul's illicit activities and calling for transparency and accountability. The campaign quickly goes viral, sparking massive public demonstrations and calls for legal action. As the public outcry grows, legal teams across multiple countries coordinate to bring formal charges against the mogul. The legal battles are complex and fraught with challenges, but the group's legal strategy is meticulous and relentless. During a crucial phase of the legal battle, an insider from the mogul's company comes forward, moved by the group's efforts. This whistleblower provides critical evidence that could tip the scales in favor of justice. With the whistleblower's evidence in hand, the group's legal team swings into full action. The documents reveal not only financial fraud, but also ties to political corruption that reach deeper than previously known. This pivotal moment emboldens their legal crusade. As details of the mogul's corrupt practices become public, the pressure on judicial systems around the world mounts. Protests continue, with citizens demanding not just local, but global accountability. The streets outside courthouses become venues for vigils and demonstrations. Amidst the rising global chorus for justice, several high-profile figures and corporations begin to distance themselves from the mogul, instead offering support for the group's efforts. This unexpected alliance provides a strategic advantage and boosts their legal fund. To keep the momentum, the group coordinates with journalists to leak parts of the evidence strategically, ensuring the public's focus remains sharp. Each leak brings new revelations, keeping the issue at the forefront of media and piling pressure on the authorities. As the date for a crucial hearing approaches, the group prepares to present their case, which has now grown to represent a significant test of the international legal system's ability to handle corruption and influence. As the sun rises on what could be the most pivotal day in their campaign, our heroes gather outside the international court, surrounded by media and supporters. The air is thick with anticipation, and the weight of the moment is palpable on everyone's faces. Inside the courtroom, the proceedings begin with opening arguments. The group's legal team lays out a compelling case, citing the extensive evidence gathered, including the whistleblower's critical documents. The opposing side looks visibly shaken as the charges are read. As the hearing continues outside, the gathering grows. Screens around the plaza broadcast the proceedings live, and people from around the world watch, their support vocal and unwavering. The global attention amplifies the significance of the case. Back inside, the turning point comes when the whistleblower takes the stand. Their testimony is damning, directly linking the mogul to illegal activities and corrupt practices that span decades. The courtroom is rapt as the whistleblower speaks. As the day draws to a close, the judges retire to deliberate. The weight of the decision is immense, as it will set a precedent for how global corruption is challenged and prosecuted. Our heroes wait with bated breath, knowing that the outcome could change their lives and many others. The tension outside the courthouse reaches a crescendo as night falls. Supporters light candles, their soft glow reflecting the hopeful and anxious faces of those gathered. The world watches, waiting for a decision that could redefine justice on a global scale. Inside the courtroom, a hush falls as the judges return to deliver their verdict. Every seat is filled, and the air is thick with anticipation. The group, along with their legal team, stands together, hands clasped, awaiting the words that will seal their fate. With a clear voice that resonates through the silent courtroom, the lead judge begins to announce the verdict. The charges are upheld, and the mogul is found guilty on multiple counts of corruption and fraud. The crowd erupts in subdued cheers, relief washing over our heroes' faces. As the courtroom clears, our heroes step outside to the cheers of the crowd. Reporters swarm, eager to capture their reactions. Amid the chaos, James, Adanna, Kwame, and Nia reflect on their journey, recognizing the road ahead is still long, but their victory is a significant step forward. Inspired by their victory, the group discusses their next steps. They plan to expand Voices for Justice to help other communities fight corruption. Their success has not only changed laws, but has ignited a flame of hope and action worldwide. In the wake of their landmark victory, our heroes are more motivated than ever. They launch a global outreach program under Voices for Justice, aiming to support similar movements and share their legal and organizational expertise. Their first major partnership is with a group in South America, where environmental corruption has led to widespread deforestation. Our heroes assist in setting up legal frameworks and media campaigns to bring international attention to the issue. Back at home, the group doesn't forget their roots. They initiate community projects to improve transparency and accountability in local governance. These projects include town hall meetings, educational workshops, and the creation of a community watchdog organization. However, success often breeds resistance. A new coalition of business interests, threatened by the group's activities, begins to push back. They use their influence to sway public opinion through misinformation campaigns. To combat the rising tide of misinformation, our heroes partner with global tech firms to develop sophisticated tools for fact-checking and information verification. This initiative quickly becomes a cornerstone of their strategy to protect and empower communities. As Voices for Justice continues to expand its reach, the positive impact of their work becomes evident. Communities worldwide are empowered to stand up against corruption, leading to a wave of global change that reshapes political and environmental policies. Despite their successes, the coalition of business interests launches a final, desperate attempt to discredit the group. They orchestrate a major scandal, implicating Voices for Justice in financial misconduct. However, thanks to the group's transparency and solid record-keeping, the attempt quickly unravels. The failed scandal not only discredits the opposition, but also strengthens public trust in Voices for Justice. The group takes this moment to reflect on their journey, recognizing the challenges they've overcome and the impact they've made. Inspired by their enduring journey, the group decides to establish a foundation to train future leaders in ethics, transparency, and civic engagement. This legacy project aims to ensure that the fight against corruption continues, even beyond their active involvement. As Crossed Hearts ends, we reflect on the journey of our heroes who started as ordinary citizens but became extraordinary leaders. Their story teaches us that integrity and unity can overcome the greatest adversities. They showed that transparency isn't just a tool for justice, it's a shield against corruption. The courage to stand up for what is right, even against formidable odds, not only challenges corruption, but also fosters a culture of accountability and transparency that can ripple through generations. True change requires persistent effort, and each small victory contributes to building a fairer, more just society. Thank you for following Crossed Hearts. Remember, the end of this story is just the beginning of many more. Continue to support justice and integrity in your community. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and carry forward the legacy of Voices for Justice. Goodbye, and keep the flame of change burning bright.